Have you ever wondered about the origins of the alphabet we use today? What if I told you that it can be traced back to an ancient civilization known as the Phoenicians? Yes, the Phoenicians, a group of enterprising seafarers, traders, and master craftsmen who left an indelible mark on the course of history. The story of the Phoenicians begins around 3,000 years before the Common Era on the eastern Mediterranean coast, in a region now known as Lebanon. Living in city-states like Tyre, Sidon, and Byblos, they were the inhabitants of a narrow strip of land sandwiched between the sea and the mountains. The Phoenicians were adept at making the most of their geographical constraints. The sea was their highway, and they became expert sailors, their ships venturing farther than any had dared before. They established colonies across the Mediterranean, with the most famous being Carthage, a city that would later challenge the might of Rome. Their trade network was expansive, dealing in goods like timber, precious metals, textiles, and most notably, a rare and beautiful purple dye extracted from sea snails. This Tyrian purple was a symbol of power and wealth in the ancient world, and the Phoenicians had a monopoly on its production. But the Phoenicians were not just traders and sailors, they were also innovators. They developed an alphabet, a simple system of 22 letters that could be combined to represent any spoken word. This was a revolutionary development that transformed the way people communicated. It was adopted by the Greeks, then the Romans, and eventually evolved into the alphabet we use today. Despite their significant contributions, the Phoenicians eventually fell into decline. Pressures from powerful neighbors like the Assyrians and Persians took a toll, and by the time of Alexander the Great, Phoenician city-states were easily absorbed into his expanding empire. To summarize, the Phoenicians, while not a unified empire in the traditional sense, were a network of independent city-states with a shared culture and language. They were master sailors and traders, establishing colonies across the Mediterranean and creating a vast trade network. Their most significant contribution, however, was the development of the Phoenician alphabet, which became the basis for many modern alphabets, including our own. The legacy of the Phoenicians, however, is not confined to the past. It lives on in our daily lives, in every letter we write and every word we read. So the next time you jot down a note or send a text message, please spare a thought for the ancient seafarers who made it all possible, the Phoenicians. Anas, Tayyam, Muhammad Badran, Sayyid Ali, Tayyam Dada, Nur Nadal, Mustafa Ali, and Yasin Ahmed. You are the greatest Phoenicians of this era.